Hi everybody and welcome back to my channel. It's Russell with Ink and Paper Blog. How are you doing today? I hope you are doing very, very well. I am good. It has been a while since I made a video and I will tell you why. As I told you guys, I transferred into a new job and this week has been crazy. I have not been home very much and I have not been reading very much this week, and it's been kind of, yeah. So I am really ready for this weekend. Actually, I'm ready after this video to drink a nice, very large glass of red wine. But I missed you guys, so I thought I'd come and do a really quick book haul of 10 books that I've purchased or gotten that I think you're gonna like. And a lot of them I think are not, well, some of them you probably heard of, but maybe most of them you haven't. And they are all really exciting to me. So get out your Goodreads list, get out your pen and paper, and let's get started. The first book I want to tell you about is The Hazelwood by Melissa Albert. This just came out about a month ago, I think, but this sounds great. And I have like a whole slew of books that I think I'm saving for Halloween, so October may be a really good reading month for me. But this is about a young girl. Her name is Alice, and she is 17 years old, and she and her mom kind of live a life on the run until her grandmother gets sick. And her grandmother is actually famous for writing a set of dark fairy tales. And they go to her house, which is Hazelwood Manor, I believe it's what it's called, or it's the whole state is called Hazelwood. And then her mother disappears and is supposedly taken by one of the characters from her grandmother's dark fairy tales. So I think that sounds fantastic. I think that sounds mystical and just, oh my God, I'm so excited for this book. And I think if you like fairy tales and you like dark fairy tales, this book may just be for you, Simon Savage. So that's The Hazelwood by Melissa Albert. I think it sounds great and that cover is fantastic. Okay, so the next two books were actually purchased and inspired by my friend Matthew Sharapa, who is really he is really inspiring me to try to read more translated literature, especially from Asian countries. And these two books, I don't know if he talked about them or the authors, but when I saw them, I thought of him and I purchased them. And the first one is Ms. Ice Sandwich by Mieko Kawakami. And this is the story of a little boy that is infatuated with a woman named Miss Ice Sandwich and her flashy blue eyelids, and about all of the things and people that get in his way of going and basically watching her and continuing his fascination. It's a very thin book, but it sounds just utterly charming, and I think we're going to get a great cast of characters, and this cover is super fun too. That's Miss Ice Sandwich by Mieko Kawakami. And then the next one, and that is Moshi Moshi by Banana Yoshimoto. And this is the story of a young girl whose magician father kills himself in a suicide pact, and her mother move to a different town to sort of move on with their lives. But then she starts to have a nightmare about her father searching for a cell phone that he lost on the night of his death, and her trying to contact him, and sort of this question of whether or not her father is trying to communicate with her from across the grave. So, again, come on, that cover. And that's Banana Yoshimoto's Moshi Moshi. Translated by Asa Yoneda. I should probably told you who translated My Ice Sandwich too. That was translated by Louisa Heel Kawai. So, if those three aren't your bag, I have a lot more. The next one, I put this cover on Instagram immediately, and that's Daphne by Boast. And I have to say, you guys, they don't come much more beautiful than this. This is the story of Daphne. As a teenager, she is diagnosed with a condition that when her emotions sort of run away with themselves, her body starts to collapse in upon itself. And so as we move forward in the book, she becomes about 30 years old, and she's learned to control her life so that her emotions don't take over and these things don't happen to her. and then she meets someone, and sort of the whirlwind of their relationship and the emotions that are brought in make her sort of question the life that she's been leading and where she wants it to go. And one, I think that sounds fascinating, and I guess it's based on a real condition that people have. It's rare, but a real condition that people have, that when their body gets overly emotional, angry, sad, happy, their body starts to collapse upon himself. So that sounds just amazing. And that's Daphne by Boast, with probably my favorite cover that I've seen this year. Don't you think? Now for some historical fiction, everyone. And that's White Houses by Amy Bloom. Have you guys heard about this one? So this is a fictionalized account of the relationship between Eleanor Roosevelt and Leonora Hickok, who they were friends during the administration of FDR, and sort of their relationship and the intimacy of their relationship was something that was known, and this is sort of just a take on that relationship. I have heard nothing but great things about this book. I've never read any Amy Bloom. I don't know why. Why haven't I? But I am super excited to start with White Houses, and I think that sounds fascinating. I think Eleanor Roosevelt is just fascinating. That woman just kicked some butt, did she not? So yeah, I'm super excited about that. The next book I'm going to tell you about is Everything Here is Beautiful by Mira T. Lee. I actually saw her speak, and this book just sounds like it's going to rip your heart out. So if you're looking for something that's going to rip your heart out, this is the story of two sisters. One suffers from, I believe, schizophrenia. And this is sort of the story of her dealing with that and her family dealing with that. And it takes place in basically two locations, but one of them I believe is it Ecuador or Panama, or it's some Ecuador. It is in Ecuador. The sister Lucia, who is suffering from the mental illness, gets involved with a man in Ecuador and moves down there. So there's a lot of pieces and people, and how sort of this condition that she is dealing with affects herself and also those that love her. So that is Everything Here is Beautiful by Mira T. Lee. And again, you guys, the world of covers is just, it's been amazing this year, don't you think? The next book actually is a Penguin classic that I picked up, and that is Ice by Anna Kavan. This is the 50th anniversary edition. Woo! I'm going to read you the back of this one just because it's a little bit convoluted. But if you are a fan of dystopian fiction, this one may be up your alley. So, Ice by Anna Kavan. It says, in a frozen, apocalyptic landscape, destruction abounds. Great walls of ice overrun the world, and secretive governments vie for control. Against the surreal yet eerily familiar broken world, an unnamed narrator embarks on a hallucinatory quest for a strange and elusive glass girl with silver hair. He crosses icy seas and frozen plains, searching ruined towns and ransacked rooms, desperate to free her from the grips of a tyrant known only as the Warden, and save her before the ice closes all around. A novel unlike any other, Ice is at once a dystopian adventure shattering the conventions of science fiction, a prescient warning on climate change and totalitarianism, a feminist exploration of violence and trauma, a speculative literary dreamscape, and a brilliant allegory for its author's struggle with addiction, all crystallized in prose glittering as a piling snow. And Doris Lessing blurbs this book. So there you go, guys. Doesn't that sound great? So there you go. There's my dystopian science fiction book for you, Ice by Anna Kavan. The next two books I think have been around a bit, so they are a little bit maybe more known to you. The first is The Lauras by Sarah Taylor. This is the story of a young boy whose mother has a fight with his father, and they decide to leave. And she basically creates a road trip from her memory to go back through her life. And it is a road trip. Him and his mother going back and meeting all these people and the weird sort of history that he learns about his mother, and all the people he meets. And that as the road trip goes on, he realizes that maybe it's not as arbitrary as he thought it was, and that his mother is trying to take him somewhere to reveal sort of the great secret that she's been hiding. And that is The Lauras by Sarah Taylor. I know a few people have liked this. I think Eric over at The Lonesome Reader talks well of this book. I think it sounds great, so I'm good with that one. Next is Conversations with Friends by Sally Rooney. I feel like this book has been a bit everywhere. This is about two girls who they go to a poetry performance on one night, and they meet an older woman and get involved in her life and her husband and sort of everything that entails. And as one of the girls gets more and more sort of intimately involved with the husband, how that affects the friendship with her original friend. I've heard really good things with this. I think the cover is sort of super fun. And I'm excited for it. So that's Conversations with Friends, a novel by Sally Rooney. The last book is my Book of the Month Club book a couple months ago now, I think, or maybe a month ago, and that's The Music Shop by Rachel Joyce. Now, Rachel Joyce wrote The Unlikely Pilgrimage of Harold Fry, which I really, really enjoyed. But I heard that the second one wasn't so good, so I did not read that one. But The Music Shop sounds like it's going to be super good. And it is set in 1988 on a street where there's a music shop. An older man owns a music store. And he's sort of known for giving people the right record at the right time. And a woman walks in and asks that he teach her about music. And as that education goes along, he learns more about himself and learns more about her and, sort of the world. That kind of story. But I think it sounds utterly charming. I think Rachel Joyce is an utterly charming writer, and I think The Music Shop is going to be super fun. So that's 10 books. 10 books, 12 minutes. I hope you guys are excited about some of these. Have you read any? Let's talk about them below. As always, if you are a return subscriber to my channel, thank you so very, very much. If you are new, I hope you like what you saw, and we'll see you soon. Please subscribe. As always, happy reading, and until next time, bye!